Good morning. It's a lovely, quiet morning, the 3rd, I believe, of April, and I'm standing at the Moot Point. That's what I call it, a point where people could have a moot, right on top of this hill, which in the past I've called the Healing Hill. And I haven't done a panorama in a while. Here comes Heidi. Been a while since I've done this, so although it doesn't look that different from, that's the only place where there's a pole light in sight where my neighbor's house is. That's Josh. Oh, the maples are beginning, their buds are beginning to get just a little bit red. Okay, I have done this panorama because right over there in the saddle, there's a saddle between two higher points. And in that saddle this afternoon, my neighbor Andy, with his homemade backhoe, is going to make an aqueduct. I'm going to get down there and I'll explain a little bit better, but we should be able to bring water by gravity to right where those pallets are, and there, with this very small windmill, pump it up to this place. This is he made this last year, I think. A groundhog has it as its home right now. And he dug low enough that with the buried, I have a buried 4-inch pipe that under there the water can come by gravity with the aqueduct. Now in the last year or two I've had an inverted siphon, it's called, 4-inch pipe, and the pallets were just used to keep the cows from tramping it. And it worked, but I want to go with an aqueduct. There it is, the Moot Point, right there. I couldn't find it. There's many ashes around here. I've had many a bonfire up on this hilltop. But anyway, it's the very center, closest I could come to determining the exact center of this hilltop. These pallets cover the deepest, the deepest hole, but the place, the farthest that I can bring water by gravity alone, the closest to the hilltop. And the pallets are just there to keep the animals from tromping it in and getting hurt. Where those pallets are is where the water leaves the surface. I'm actually, and these pallets are to keep, or were, well, no, the pipe's under there. There to keep the animals from tromping it shut. And there is there's the pipe. I think you can probably see it. Right there's the pipe. I couldn't go all the way to the top because it got too hard to dig. It's iron ore, and that's a whole other story. All right, from where I'm standing, just over past where those pallets stop, or a little bit beyond, well, about there, that's where the aqueduct will go. And I think I'll let it be crooked. I sort of figure, why not? I could just go straight. Be an awful lot easier to straddle it and drive on it on either side, but I think I'll go with crooked, because since I dug that by hand, I was able to be very sensitive to the height. This is the middle of the saddle, and I should say that the water, I often had the water going clear out the whole way around the hill and coming back on the other side, or going in the other direction. So that hilltop was basically ringed by a level ditch, and water would run in either direction the whole way around the hilltop. Anyway, here's the middle, and I'll do that again up there, but it'll be at a higher level. All right, the middle of the saddle, and it's this is a falls. It actually has a name, Minnie Falls, named after my grandmother, Minnie Martha Nancy Bottenhorn Camp, because it is a little bit of a fall, and that's the reason that I want an aqueduct, because I want to, instead of that fall, carry the water toward the hilltop. And this is a bisse, or levada, as they would say in Portugal. And we're going to walk up. I don't have the water coming here yet, but it's soon. I usually try to get the water here by Palm Sunday, and I think that's 1 or 2 Sundays away. And I'm going to walk up into the woods and show you that the water is on its way. Here's the bisse. I call this Grandpa Jim ditch, or Grandpa Jim bisse, or levada. I dug it by hand. It's leaking a little bit right there. Down there's the natural flow of water. That's the natural drain. And the Prisdo, where it's captured, there's no dam. Where the water is captured is right up in there. And you can see at the moment there's a pretty good flow to it. And I was delighted to see it actually has moved a good ways toward the field since I was up here earlier this morning. In about 2 hours it moved a good ways. Let's see, 2 hours ago the water was right about here. Right about maybe by that big oak. Oh, and the black pipe, that's for later. I probably will use it when there's a very tiny flow of water. Not sure, but it's almost dead level. As a matter of fact, from about right there, you might as well say it is dead level. There's a little bit of a fall as it comes across that seeming cliff. Now I've learned that cliff was mined, and so was that. This is the iron mining, where they dug the iron ore off this cliff. We're going to get down to that corner. That's where I was, and right here is a hatch. If I take these stones out, I could open this up, and this is called Astrid Falls, named after Shirley. She's all her birth name is Astrid. And right here, all the way down to where that tree is across the natural drain, I think I'm finally this year gonna start by far the highest water wheel on the Camp Range campus of Frank School. I think if I work at it, I can keep water running here this far almost year round. We'll see when it gets really cold in January. And well, that's sort of another story. But anyway, I'm gonna walk on down and see how far the water is right now. Well, in the time that I walked up there and filmed that and talked to you, the water has come. Well, you can see it there. You see it's slowly working its way toward the field. And I put a marker at where it was when I headed up, because I started to clean the leaves out. Why it doesn't just inexorably go to the field is because in the winter the ground heaves and sort of fluffs up, and so it's more prone to let the water leak through it. But that's fun. I mean, it could be, it'll probably be a week still before it gets out to the field, but we'll see.